Jennifer, welcome. Jennifer Chamandi, I love you. I love your energy. I adore your shoes. Beautiful. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having me, and right back at you.
Thank you. Let's go back to the beginning. You were born and grew up in Lebanon, the most spectacular place. How often do you go? I imagine things have changed a lot now. Do you go often? Tell me stories about growing up there.
It's a very special time because tomorrow I'm going to Lebanon. Amazing. And I haven't been for 2 years. So I'm feeling quite emotional in a very positive way, but also, the country's been through a lot. So my parents live there. Okay. I was born and raised in Lebanon. Absolutely loved it. Culturally, it's so rich, education-wise also. So it gave me such an incredible baggage for life in a good way. And there's something about, I was saying, the minute you land in the air, you feel this kind of love for life, literally, and this is what the Lebanese people have, and this resilience as well. But I absolutely love the mountains. I spent a lot of my childhood, every weekend we'd go. I'm sure you heard it many times, you can ski and go to the beach in the same day. It is absolutely true. And there's also a beautiful small bay in Batroun. It's an area that is also beautiful, and it's like a small bay where there's a little restaurant, and you can literally have lunch there with, we call it pied dans l'eau, which means feet in the water, and it serves the best fish. You can't think of Lebanon without thinking about the cuisine. So there's also, obviously Beirut itself is so vibrant, and the energy is so incredible. So there's Im Sharif, which is my favorite restaurant there, and it's very traditional, authentic, but also very modern. It's for me, whenever I think of Lebanon, obviously my parents are there, so it's like a full recharge of love and nurturing, but it's really R&R, it's rest, relaxation, eating well, seeing friends, and just that feeling of home.
So lovely. It's going to be a very special trip. Yes, I've only been once, and it's spectacular. It's an incredible place.
It's it's very special, and I really hope that this is the start of a new chapter for our country.
So work. You started in finance?
Yes.
As a banker. How did you go from finance to shoes?
So, it wasn't a midlife crisis.
Too young for that.
Literally, because it did sound like that when I sent my first email to my manufacturer, and I'll get to that. But as a little girl, I had a dream, to create something beautiful and purposeful that would empower women everywhere. Now, I was very much drawn to fashion, but it was shoes from the beginning. I remember being in my mom's closet and trying on her shoes and really feeling in my power. There was this sense of kind of self-confidence. At the time I was 8, which is the age of my twin daughters, and I am seeing it now in them. But it was really, wearing my mom's shoes made me recite better, feel this confidence in projecting myself, and it's that feeling that I wanted to kind of recreate for women. Being Lebanese, I was very encouraged academically to pursue a career that is much more probably structured or stable. Very understandably, because today I look back and I would redo this exact trajectory. It taught me, so I went to the London School of Economics. I did economics, loved it, and in my second year I did my internship at Merrill Lynch, and I was offered the job, and so I couldn't say no, and I actually loved it. Being on the trading floor, the high pressure environment, the people that I met, my first boss is still one of my biggest mentors, and had a huge impact on my life in terms of like teaching me how to think methodically.
So there's a lot from that you're going to take to not just working in a fashion brand, but building a brand, building a business.
Completely. And today, you know, a lot of people come to me and say, you know, how did you make the switch? You know, would you recommend? And for me, it was really priceless. You know, I also try to always, relay it to my own team now, and I call it my first mentor was called John Craven, and JC. We have the same initials. Yeah. And so I call it the JC chip, and that JC chip is priceless. So I kind of made the switch on a leap of faith. I decided after 7 years that if I don't do it now, I would probably, you know, never have the chance to do it. And if I fail, I can always go back to banking. Yeah. So that was the reasoning, which is methodic, but also with a boldness that today I look back and I think, wow. I don't know, because I'm a very risk-averse person and very, I don't take a lot of risks that are not calculated, but it makes me realize that in life, when you take those bold risks, that's when the magic happens.
Absolutely. And you have twin girls.
Yes.
And this launched just before you had twins.
10 days. So
it's
I
crazy.
launched the brand 10 days before. So, you know.
So 3 babies.
Yes, 3 babies.
Yeah.
3 babies, and you know, I always say, had I launched the brand before having children, I would have probably postponed having children. Had I had children before the brand, I would have. So it was the perfect timing.
Of course.
And actually, another thing that I was thinking about is that the fact that they're growing, the 3 of them together, you know, a business at the beginning, it requires a lot. And in a very crazy way, the babies being babies, it was a bit, I mean, it was a lot, but it was much easier because they were sleeping a lot. And as the girls are growing, and then, you know, at 5 years old, they go to school, and that's kind of you lock in a first milestone in the business. And so there's something magic in the timing as well. And I feel, you know, I'm going to be approaching my 10-year milestone now, and I feel as the girls are growing, they become... Also, they're very much involved in my business. And they also see you. Yes.
Working, hustling, building.
Yeah, and you know what? I had a lot of guilt initially that I processed. Yeah. And today, you know, I'm very proud to say that I'm actually role modeling. Good. Because, you know, sometimes there is you're not picking me up from school, mommy, but equally when they come to the showroom, you know, every other Saturday, or, you know, I try to bring them in to see once a month, and they see, and I can see that they're very, very proud, and it's going to have an impact on them. Yeah.
So how did you manage, because mum guilt's a big thing. How did you manage that?
I do a lot of energy healing and energy work.
Okay.
So that's kind of the other part of my life in a way, and I think that's something that has really helped me, not just in the guilt element, but, you know, as an entrepreneur, you go through all the phases of the business. You have self-doubt, you have imposter syndrome, and I had a lot of both. So already that, and then the guilt of, you know, being a working mom and not being there for every kind of little small detail, you know, precious moments, and those kind of energy healing sessions, which, you know, can I
so
do a lot.
Tell me more about the energy.
Yeah, so it started with Reiki, which is a practice that kind of rebalances your chakras and your energy. It kind of recharges you, refuels you. There's the wisdom of Kabbalah. There is hypnomeditation, which actually this transformed my life, I can say. So it's a very also scientific. It kind of rewires your brain, programs in your brain that you have from your childhood, self-limiting beliefs, suppressed trauma. You know, we all have them. And today, you know, even me doing this work with my children, I try to consciously, you know, there's something that you're going to give to your children that, you know, they will have to process, because this is also part of life. So the hypnomeditation is a technique that kind of, through breathing, a very specific breathing exercise that takes you to your subconscious, and you're able to kind of reprogram your mind. And you know, we, at the heart of everything we do at the brand as well, is this belief that, you know, everything, all the strength, all the power is within you. And it's through these techniques that I feel that it enabled me to unlock the power within me. And when you unlock this, you process and guilt. You can process. I mean, it's been really miraculous in a way, and to pivot the equation from, oh, I'm not there at pickup, to actually I'm role modeling. I'm being, I'll be inspiring my children to hopefully one day that they can forge their own path, and I love my work. And actually that's something, at the beginning I remember telling them, oh, but mommy has to work, and if we want to enjoy the holidays. And then I realized this was complete nonsense.
It's not the right way
and
of positioning
but it wasn't real.
Yeah.
It wasn't my truth. My truth was I love what I do.
Yeah.
I love to work, full stop, and I love my work. And this is something that I wanted. And I think changing this,
changing the mindset,
and the script, basically, and then in them, then they start having a positive connotation between working and.
I love that. I mean, I've learned something from that as well, because sometimes I'll do that and I'll be like, no, but mama has to go to work. And she'll say, but I don't want you to work. But actually, if you're saying, but I love it, like you love going to tap, or you love this, I love that. So that's a really lovely way of actually changing it. And
that helped me a lot. Also remove the guilt. Yeah. I mean, it's there still. There's always a race or now I'm going to Lebanon tomorrow, and I decided literally 10 days ago. And it appears that on Friday, we got last week the email that it's their musical.
Okay.
So
of course,
it's a juggle.
It's a
juggle. But
so talking about empowerment, empowering your girls, empowering yourself, empowering women, obviously that's a big part of your brand.
Yes.
Tell me a bit about how you implement this in the brand and the shoes, and also you have a bespoke offering.
Yes. So again, the brand's mission, if you want, the Jennifer Chamandi brand is rooted in this mission to empower women to step into their power. So kind of our motto that we love to use is step into your power. And through incredible designs and shoes, you can really change your whole attitude. And this is how I felt, trying my mom's shoes. And it's this kind of, when you step into a pair of Jennifer Chamandi, you kind of instantly feel this sense of empowerment, because also it comes from, the actual design. It has to be comfortable, practical, so it's not just an aesthetic feature. But yeah, very much I wanted to tie, it's, fashion is not kind of a superficial thing. It's really, it has such a power to transform, to tell stories, to convey a message, to change the attitude of a woman, and to induce this confidence and this sense of self, kind of self-appreciation, and actually unlocking this power and saying, actually I can tackle anything.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think there's a huge link between how you feel, what you wear. You're wearing jogging pants compared to wearing, a heel or a jacket. How you feel, it's totally different. Fashion completely influences it.
Absolutely. And it's not just about stiletto heels. I love stiletto heels. I'm a stiletto heel at heart. My first design was a stiletto heel, but today, I wear a lot of lower heels, block heels, flats. Yeah. Flats are incredibly empowering. Also, a good pair of flats, especially at work, or like doing the drop off, the school run in the morning that I try to do. A good pair of shoes will take you very far.
I want to move to downtime. Excuse me. I want to move to downtime. Do you get downtime?
I'm now much better at trying to carve some to find this balance. I'm not going to lie, I'm a workaholic. I think, whoever tells you that you can build a business and have the balance, at the beginning, I'm talking, I don't know what they're seeing. I would love to know that secret, because you've got to hustle, you've got to do every single kind of, and again, John had taught me that there was this one task that I really highly disliked when I first joined, and he told me, this is the task that will actually teach you everything that we do. And later down the line, I realized that, oh my God, because it was an Excel sheet, and I'm obsessed with Excel now, and I teach it to my team too. It's at the beginning you've got to tackle everything, but now that I'm approaching the 10-year mark and doing much more, energetic work, I try to get my morning run. Instead of doing it 5 times a week and feeling then disappointed if I'm missing every single day, I've lowered it to 3 times a day, 3 times a week. Instead of doing good. In banking, it was I had to hit the 8K mark. Now it's a 30-minute jog. It can be a fast walk as well. So it's adjusting those expectations that you put on yourself. Energy work, I carve it in my business agenda. So my team knows as well. I try to also share some of the learnings that I learn. But it's part of my work now. It's a very.
So you're factoring in that downtime and so I'm forcing it on yourself to make sure you bring it into a part of your life.
If you don't, for me, is all about juggling priorities.
Of course.
There's the ex-CEO of PepsiCo, Indra Nooyi.
She's amazing.
Incredible woman. And there's this thing this video that I saw with her that she says, what balance? There is no such balance. Yeah. At best, you can juggle priorities. And I feel this just articulates so rightfully. So that sometimes, yes, children, school will take a little bit of a, sometimes most of the times it's work, sometimes it's personal. Obviously, a marriage is also something that you have to nurture, friendships, self-care.
Yeah.
I feel for a long time I was last on the list, and I'm trying now to more proactively put self-care up the list.
So Friday night, how do you spend a Friday night?
So again, I feel it kind of depends on the mood. I would say recently it's a lot of cozy nights at home with the girlies and with my husband, just because, after a long week, and I love a Friday night at home because it also, it feels the weekend gets longer and you just really unwind. But also we love to have a kind of a cozy one-on-one dinner, like a dinner date, my husband and I. Our obsession recently and now is Kyoku, the Japanese at the Owo.
Okay.
The new Raffles hotel. It's incredible. It's at the top floor and it has the most spectacular views. You've got Big Ben, right on. Our table is always with Big Ben on the left, and the food is exquisite, and is literally straight. It's a very early dinner, straight after work, and we're back to put the kids to bed. Yes,
that's perfect. That's a gorgeous date.
Yeah, and then every now and then, of course, we love to have dinner with friends. But we try to do more Friday because Saturday we're always with the girls. We try to.
Do you get to travel much with your girls?
With the girls, I would say less because of school.
Yeah.
So we're bound by the school calendar. But in the summer, of course.
Where's your go-to? Where do you love to take them?
Obviously having family abroad, both my husband and I. So my family is in Lebanon. We've taken them twice, not enough, but hopefully from this summer we're going to try taking them again and making it a tradition because it's part of their roots. It's very much part of mine,
of course,
and they love already Beirut and Lebanon. We do a lot Monaco and Brussels, again from my husband's family, but we love the mountains. So, and I feel I belong in the mountains. I'm a mountain person. My soul gets regenerated in the mountains, probably from my childhood as well. So we go to Gstaad a lot. I love how peaceful it is. it's not very hard to access it. And it's beautiful actually it's more beautiful in the summer than in the winter.
Yeah.
So long hikes, fresh air, the kids do camp and they love it. They're constantly outside because obviously London is incredible with the parks, but the weather permitting, they're pretty much always indoors. Yeah. So that fresh air of the mountains we look for it, we seek it. Yeah.
As a woman on the go constantly, what is in your bag?
Yeah.
What do you carry with you?
Right. So, I have my daughters, two lucky, they made them to me a few years ago, and they're lucky drawings. So one is a daily affirmation from my daughter: you are a fairy no matter where you are.
I love that. That's
with the eye of the needle.
Special.
And
very special.
My other daughter is, we use a lot because I love to, believing in magic is very important. The magic of life, the magic that anything can happen at any time. And so I always use the phrase bibbidi bobbidi boo of Cinderella. Okay. So it's Cinderella with bibbidi bobbidi boo.
Very sweet.
And then I have, obviously, I'm always on my phone, so I always run out of a battery. And I found this incredible compact wireless power bank. So for extra battery life. Got my daily reminder cards also, again, with energy, affirmation. It's, it's these cards that we created a couple of years back that we're now recreated with the, with new affirmations. So there's dream big, step into your power, never settle for less, your power is within you, and all dots will connect. I love this one. Yeah. And, affirmation cards are extremely important. It's also part of the practice that, one of the practices where sometimes I would, I need an answer to a question, I shuffle them and I open, and you only lose when you give up.
Nice.
I also do them with the girls, they love it. So the daily reminders and my AirPods, because I am
always obsessed on your phone.
with, yes, always on my phone. I'm obsessed with podcasts, listening to podcasts. So I love, whenever I have a short moment, I'll always, and also on the plane, the AirPods Max, or whatever they're called, the noise cancellation is incredible, the feature, because it just cancels out all noise.
So is there a podcast that you're listening to recently, or something that you've loved, that you've heard?
Yes, there's the David Guillaume podcast, and he's incredible because it's all about, obviously, kind of it's kind of energy related, but it's very much to make you step into your power, basically, and how to, there's about on imposter syndrome, on surrendering, on trusting more, and I love it.
Nice, right. That's really good to know. We're going to move straight to quickfire questions.
Yes.
What's your coffee order?
Very typical Lebanese. So it's a Nescafe. It's an instant coffee. I know my factory, when I told them, because they're pure Italians, they're shocked because they go for espresso. So it's a Nescafe, 2 coffee mate, and a brown sugar. Every morning, and that's like a very national coffee.
Is that really?
Yeah, well, it's made. It's a national made coffee, but we all drink Nescafe.
Interesting.
With coffee mate.
What's your favorite cuisine?
Lebanese.
It's very good food. Your perfect date. I think we've covered that, but
yes, well, with my husband and Japanese typically, or Italian.
If you had an extra 5 hours in the day, how would you spend it?
Self-care.
Wonderful. If you're down, what cheers you up?
My girlies. Well, I would say my girlies, because they really remind me of the finding joy in the simple things, and my energy work.
Nice. Yeah. What's the best compliment you've ever received?
Well, it has to be when women tell me that my shoes have had such a transformational impact on them, and they feel in their power, and they're their go-to shoes to feel confident, or they went to a first interview in my shoes, and so the
course,
stories that we get through the shoes, that's always an incredible
It's a huge compliment. What's your go-to drink, alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
So this year, trying to prioritize self-care more. So there's the Elle Macpherson Welco that I was eyeing for a long time. Then I decided to go for it. So it's actually a smoothie, and it's a recipe in her app, and it's she calls it the super elixir. Unflavored.
That green powder.
Yeah. Unflavored. Unflavored is amazing because then you don't. And then I love vanilla, so I add the vanilla protein because I don't have breakfast in the morning. I just have my Nescafe. So I started drinking it in the morning as a mid-morning snack. So super elixir, like the super greens, vanilla powder, half a banana, almond milk. And I just recently, like 2 weeks ago, bought her collagen.
Nice.
So just adding it.
Forever young. What song are you listening to on repeat?
So I love calm music, very like nature sounds or however. I'm obsessed with there's this, I'm obsessed with both the song and his music. Vianney, he's a French singer, he's incredible. He writes a lot of his music, and he was asked to sing at the Notre Dame reopening.
Okay.
And he rewrote the lyrics in French of Alleluia.
Okay.
And it's just, he didn't translate it, he wrote it from scratch, and it's just so powerful. The lyrics are incredible. And also, Hallelujah is the song that I walked down the aisle on at my wedding. So it's double special.
Oh, I'm going to have to listen to that. It sounds incredibly special.
Yes, it's on Instagram.
Do you have a favorite item? I would imagine your shoes, but is there a pair of shoes or clothing or jewelry?
Actually, it's a piece of jewelry, and it's it's our signature eye of the needle. Is that my eye of the needle into a ring? Beautiful. And it was gifted. So I had designed it not as a joke, but just
sketching.
I had sketched it, and my eye of the needle maker. It's a husband and wife duo, Stefania and Massimo. Actually made it for me for the opening of my new space, the apartment.
Oh, wow.
So when they came here, they surprised me with it, and I don't remove it. It's literally like, I always feel the eye of the needle has like this power to make you step into your power. So now I have a reminder on my
It's a beautiful piece of jewelry.
Thank you.
Is there a trend that you're totally over?
I don't really follow trends. I'm very classic, and so I don't...
Fine. If you could be born in any decade, which one would it be?
I actually love the decade we're living in. Put aside everything happening in the world, I feel we're very lucky, to have this, technology. I speak to my parents, like my parents every time I can, but like video call with the children, grandchildren, seeing the grands. So it's an incredible. But if I have to pick, I would say the era of Coco Chanel, just to meet her in person, because she was such an incredible person, like an incredible trailblazing woman that one of my biggest inspirations. So I would have loved to meet her.
Amazing. A little early on in life, but if you had a book about your life and career to date, what would it be called?
So it's very interesting because and funny because in 2022, I don't know how, I woke up one morning and I was like, if I ever write a book, it would be, I'd love to, not if I ever write a book, but I would love to share all the learnings that I've learned through the journey. And so I started drafting a few chapters, and it's still at the chapter base.
Okay.
No, it's just at the chapter, and I feel it would be called Excel Your Life. For two reasons. One, it's a playful pun on Excel, because I'm obsessed with Excel, the sheets.
Okay.
Everything is on Excel. I feel that for me, I'm quite organized and very methodic. So if it's on Excel, it's sorted. And also it's a way to, how to excel in your life. And initially I was always after the achievements and the numbers and the wins. especially in banking. And today with my brand and with what I'm doing, I'm realizing that it's a lot about the fulfillment and yes, it's about sharing. So there's chapters, it's nothing written, but you know, so it's interesting you asked the question.
Well, I will hold my breath and wait for that book to come out. I will definitely, I hate Excel, but I will read that book. Thank you, Jennifer. It's such a pleasure to talk to you. I think your shoes are fabulous.
Thank you
and your
so
new
much.
atelier is spectacular.
Thank
so
you.
congratulations. And
I
thank
loved
you.
all your questions, and it's just, I greatly enjoyed this. Thank you.